What's up, everyone? Welcome to a special Wednesday stream. I had a dinner I had to go to last night with my wife, so I went and did that instead. So we're here today on a Wednesday. We'll see if other people can join as well. Instagram has been notified. Welcome. So what are we doing today? So we were originally going to do something different. We were going to do a NFL Week 3 design, which I've made a couple for the Bears. It's up JB Media. But then Justin Fields got named the starter, so we're going to do that. So to start off, the anniversary was good. We went to a restaurant called Blue Ash Chili, which is where I proposed. So we just went back. Let me see what we got going on here. So I've got a couple of photos of Fields, but I don't know how many I want to use, how in depth we want to get with this, and sort of just overall how we want to go about this today. Let me throw a couple of these in here. Got some cool looking photos of Fields. These are stuff I had either ready to rock before. I usually go in these little powers of 3 combinations, so we'll make something based off of this. I don't know, maybe we want to make it more text-based. Maybe we want to make it standard imagery-based, sort of like this. Just sort of like what I made before, which is my background. When we drafted him, sort of a three-person hierarchy. But anyway, we'll figure it out. Trying to think. I kind of wanted to just do something simple, maybe with just Fields like this. But let's just throw him on here. Let's use some lovely feet brushes, floor shadows from Dean Davies. So we got elevated foot shadow. I'm just gonna do one of these. Let's click like that. It's not too bad. I'll duplicate it. Put it around like that. I think that's fine. Make a new layer. And I usually make a new layer when I'm using these shadows because I can just click, drag it around. I can convert it to a smart object if I want. And I can play with it a little bit better. Pretty much I just want these shadows to line up. They're pretty good there. So let me go in here. Justin Fields design stream thing. Yeah, I saw that design you made of that Zeke card, and I thought it looked pretty good. Let me trim some of these down a little bit, figure out why the heck my... Got some edits I need to do, but I can do those later. Alright, so here's what we got going on. A little bit of an issue here. We'll fix that. So what I'm doing now is I'm just setting up Fields in sort of a scene. And then we can figure out what we want to do with him. So I'm just going to group them together. Fields, front. Because this was originally going to be a quarterback 1 graphic. The shadows aren't available for purchase. But if you can download them... I will put a link in the... What's it? So Dean Davies has them. It's been downloaded like 3,000 times. Let me figure out how I can copy a tweet to a... There you go. So it's in the description there. Dean Davies. I'm gonna make a new layer. I usually go with orange for the Bears just because... I forget what the hex code is. Bears hex code. So there's a couple different ways we can do this. We can do like a more generic background with just some cool coloring. We can put them in a setting, which is usually what I do. Maybe we'll do that. Let me pull over this window so you can see what I'm doing. So I got Unsplash pulled up, but just Bears hex code. Just copy that real quick, paste it in here. I always just manually fill in the backgrounds when I could easily, just create a color fill. I don't know why, it's just what I do. I don't think it's the best way to do it, but it is how I do it. I'm gonna group these together and name this shadows, and I'm just gonna duplicate them again and set these both to multiply, even though that really doesn't do anything. Shadows. Alright, so right away we just have fields hanging out here. Maybe what we can do is I made something very simple for All Elite Wrestling on TNT with sort of a marquee like this. I don't know if there's an image I like enough to do the same thing that says, like, maybe like an image like this that's in the background that says Justin Fields QB1. It'd be nice to do, but I would need to find the right photo, and that can be challenging. I'm sure I could find a photo of like Soldier Field, or we can do something a little more abstract, which we might just play with and go around with. All right, so let's duplicate this. I'm trying to think of how I want to go about this. What do you guys think? What's up, Porter? What do you want to see from this? What skills or what do you want to see from this stream today? Because I'm really open to how we do this. I really have no preference. What is that? I don't like that. Let's do a bit of a curves layer. Hold on, let me get rid of this. I don't like this tab group. There we go. What I'm doing right now is I'm just kind of like darkening up the background. Yeah, the movie theater thing would be nice. It's funny, actually, the original one I made of this, I included a photo of movie theater, I think by Ozzy Stern, who is actually now working for the Bears, which is kind of cool. So, here's just like, here's a little scene. You agreed you want me to do this movie theater thing? Okay. We just gotta find the right photo then. Then we can have him stand in front of it. Trying to think based on some of these images how I can edit them to be how I want. Like, I could just do this instead. We'll try this out. We'll toss this up here. We'll just have, like, up at the top, it'll say it. Now playing Justin Fields QB1. A good idea. I want to do something. So I want to go to View, and I want to go to New Guide Layout. And 150 is fine. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to adaptive wide angle, I think. And then do perspective. And then I should be able to click a polygon like this. And I think it'll straighten it out. Yeah, like that. This needs to be over more. But it can't. Let me drop the scale down a little bit. There we go. You can see on the right-hand side, hopefully. Let me get rid of that. Yeah. Over here, it shows you what you're kind of... Jeez, what you're doing. I'm gonna hit OK and see what happens here. That's what it looked like before. So no, that's not what I wanted at all. That's kind of what I wanted, but not really. Anyway, all right. So let's go into this photo. And let's tweak this. So we wanted to say Justin fields. Hold on, put them on a field. Get it? It's original. Yeah, exactly. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a new layer. We're gonna use the stamp tool, current and below. Henry's back. You know, Henry, I told my wife you would probably be here because you don't have school. So, congratulations for making me not a liar. So here's the issue with using the stamp tool with this, is you gotta be, this is actually kind of really large, so you gotta be pretty precise with it. Because you see how that's completely off? Maybe that's not good. This might take a hot sec to tweak. And that's what took a long time to do for the other one. I wonder if I can just do something different. And Penny is already mad and upset. Where are you? Where are you, whining dog? Oh, hello. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually shoot up these black parts of this. Just going to duplicate it again, convert this to a smart object, convert this to a smart object, hide this, take this. Oh yeah, this is going to be much quicker. And I'm just going to match it up. Sort of like this. And that should work out pretty fine. So I'll just keep doing that. And then this way I'll have a blank marquee that I can then use. Like this. And I could probably revert these, but I think it might be a little bit off, so I'll just keep going like this. And we'll see how these look. Should look pretty decent. Yeah, I mean, you can, if you really look, you can tell that it's the same, but I don't think it's really going to matter. I'll just make a, no, we'll just keep copying these. So this is basically just going to save me, if I really wanted to get it to look right, 20 minutes of stamp tooling. You know, just get these angles right. And I'll just make a new layer for this one. No, I won't. I'll just put this over here. Because who's going to tell? No one. No one's going to be able to tell. There. Penny is very upset. Penny, very, as you can hear. So that's fun. So I'm gonna group all these together, and then we need to find a font that looks close to this. One sec. There. Now that I'm done wrestling my dog, let's figure out what works well for this. I forget what font I used in the other design. I'm winded from chasing my dog. Let me just look real quick. Unless you guys know a good font for a router. Let's just go to Safari, not YouTube, fonts.adobe.com. Sign in real quick. Come on. Sign in. There we go. So I get downloaded a router font from here. Something that looks like a router. I also might not have. But if I did, it would be activated. Let me just open up that file. I think what we'll have is we'll have the orange background we have on there now. And we'll have the marquee up at the top. And then maybe we'll have the lighting come down and hit him. And we'll see what happens. I just need to find this file just to figure out what font I used. Come on, there we go. All right, hold on. We'll open this up. Reading file, good, good, good. Reading. All right, blah, 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 blah. Weird. Oh, I just used Trade Gothic. Okay, cool. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, great. Turn this back on. Make this Trade Gothic. Condensed bold. And we'll do now plain. What do they do? Okay, they just have like huge numbers. So let's size this up so it's sized up correctly. Something like that. And I need to make this a little bit off gray. That's what the other ones are. The spacing is a lot wider though. I mean, it's a different font, but the spacing is a lot wider. Let's do 220. That's too much. 110. Just separate that. And we want these to line up like this. Drag this down. Justin Fields QB1. There. All right, we'll save this out as a different file now. I'll just save it as whatever the Unsplash name is. We'll go back, right click, replace contents. This guy there. There you go. Now plain Justin Fields QB1. So now we can tweak this a little bit. Like I think that's too much. Let's do like 66. If this was actually on it, it would be like on the tracks like that. And then there's a couple things we can do to this. So I'm going to convert this to a smart object. And let's highlight this. Select, modify. We'll do contract of a 1 pixel. We'll grab our curves. We'll just boost it up a bunch like this. Apply it to that layer and invert it. And then feather it, I don't know, 3.5. But really we'll just blow this up like this. So we want it to seem like it is bleeding on top of it. So to make that look better, we'll increase the blue because this is very blue looking. And that should help. Then let's also go ahead and we'll give it a little bit of a bevel and emboss. and see what that does. So it looks like this right now. So I want this to be 90 up at the top. So that's fine. Size. I don't know. We just want to give these a little bit of a 3D depth to it. So maybe we'll do this chisel hard. And then let's take a look at this. And then we're going to add a little bit of noise. I want to make it monochromatic noise. And I just want it to kind of match the background. You know, maybe 2. And then let's get rid of all this stuff just to see what we're looking at here. So you can see it does have a little bit of a bevel. It's kind of blurred on the edges, bleeding in a little bit. So that's good. Let's give this a slight Gaussian blur then. So 5's too much. Let's do like 1 or like 0.5. 0.5. See, now it's blurring. Hold on, let me do this. Let me clear the smart filters. Let me convert this to a smart object. Then go to the Gaussian blur, because it's completely destroying the bevel in Emboss when I do that. So we'll go to noise. We'll add the noise back in. 2% noise. Save. Go back. Except we saved it. We didn't open up the smart object here, so we need to replace the contents or go in and just re-add it. Oops. Like that. Yeah, it looks a little bit better. Now we need to cut this out. So let's do that. So I'm just going to convert this to a smart object. I could probably just cut it out in the other file, but I'm going to cut it out here just so I can make sure it's the same size. And this will save out slower than molasses. All right. Now I'm taking a look at this and what I want to cut out. And there's probably an obviously easy way to cut this out. And I think you guys know what it is. We're going to use pen tool again. Because we can. Alright. So I'm going to cut this sign out. I could use the polygonal lasso tool, but it won't allow me to get all the cool stuff. So I'm just like guessing as to what these shapes are. Just going to cut up across this. So I'm cutting out this outside part. We don't need it. So this looks like it curves up like that, or does it go up, curve, and stop like this? I think that might be what it does. Comes over. All right, then we got a curve here. Click. We got a curve here. Not gonna work, so we need to go a little bit halfway more like this. Go like that. Good to go. Then we'll cut out the curve here. Like this. And we'll cut up to the top. Maybe I need to go like that. New curve. Curve ends about here. It ends there and then curves a little bit down here like this. Actually, I think it's pretty straight. Come on. So I think it's straight to like there and then curves down. See, I can't even see what's going on over here. It's just so dark, but we're gonna fake it and see what happens. Something like that. I mean, in this case, William, when we're dealing with a subject that has a lot of just nice smooth curves to it and a background that is like in the area we just touched, basically indiscernible from where the background is. Undiscernible, indiscernible. It's very inconsiderate of a photo. So instead, we're just going to cut it out. We're going to cut this out a couple different ways. So I want that to stay. So this can go to like here. Okay, so we need to have a curve come down here like this. And then come up to the edge like that. Move that to there. Click on this guy. I'll probably just add this back in with a circle. So we'll just go like that. And that's what I'm going to do for Chicago up top as well. And we're just going to go in here and click on this. I'll cut this out separately. I'll cut out this separately. So actually, I just want to come straight across to the edge here. Pretty much, Bradley. I mean, it's a good idea. You know, just announcing Justin Fields as quarterback 1. All right, we'll go like this. Get the sign back here. Stream around up here. Let's see where this ends. This is going to be not too bad actually. We'll zoom around up here. Zoom around up here. Zoom to the tip there. Click. Drag up like this. Click. Click. You guys are just in a treat seeing me use the pen tool twice in like a month. But for this, it would make sense because it would take forever to... We can fake these curves and make them look realistic. But if you're cutting out a person, I still prefer to do it the other way, which you guys all know. All right, let's cut down to here. We're almost done cutting out like a lot of this. So that's cool. All right, we got all these light bulbs. I might do this with the other way. So I'm just gonna cut back here. I'm gonna cut back to like here. I'm trying to figure out how much of this sign I want to put in here. I think I want to do it to where these like heaters are. I'm just gonna cut straight across and see what this looks like. Straight across. Straight to here. Come up this way, right here. Zoom up, there we go. All right. So I'm gonna select that and we're just gonna mask that shape out. We're gonna duplicate this. We're gonna delete the layer mask. I'm gonna come in here and with the quick select, go like this to select all of these lights. Like this. Light, 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 light. And I'm really just focused on anything that's underneath this top part. So like I could, let me just apply a gradient map to this. So anything that's not gray, black and white is what we're doing. So I accidentally had a selection and then got rid of it because I applied a layer mask. So then it got rid of the selection because it said, oh good, we applied this to that layer mask you created. It's what you wanted, right? Okay, good. So I just want to make sure this bleeds somewhat into it. So I'm just gonna click and drag upward, select what I want, drag upward. And this might all get covered up, so it might not matter. I really want to get these lights on the edge. That's pretty much all I'm doing this for. Are these lights here. And down here, and right here, and right here, and right here. All right. Let me shoot up like that. So I make sure we have these. All right, let's select and mask. I'm gonna give this a little bit more of a feather than I usually do because these are just lights, and then hit enter. There, so we got some spots back here we can probably get rid of, but we'll see how that looks in the other way. So we're gonna go like this, group these together, apply this gradient map. We're gonna delete this. So anything that's not black and white, we need to cut out. Okay, so how do I want to do that? First off, I want to go into here. I want to grab just a hard brush. Yeah, where's Porter at? That's a good question. Porter, you're grounded. All right, so I want to make this black and white. So to make this black and white, Okay, how big is this? Let's make it a little bit. How much does that go up when I hit this? When I hit, oh god, 375. 375. Hey, that's pretty good. I'm gonna make this black and white. So it's an O. And I'm gonna cut out the middle because we only want anything that's black and white. But what I do want is I do want the inside of this O. So I might want to track back a bit. Or a lot. Okay, so I want the inside of this O, but then I also want this beam in the back that it's mounting, because I want it to look like it's actually mounted to the back of this area. So I want this included. I can probably make the hardness of this a little bit softer because this is in the background, it's blurred a little bit. And then we'll just use the polygonal lasso tool like this. We'll go all the way down. Delete that out. We'll go back up and fix this. Kind of like that. Hit enter, delete. Still messed it up. I didn't get this middle part. Toss that in there. I do want this bar that goes across this whole thing. So this is just one big straight bar. There it is. Come on. Don't you love that? It's the best. Okay, straight bar that goes across. There, now we can see this Chicago C. Don't know why we couldn't see it before. That was very annoying. Alright, so this is at, we want this at like 375. 375. It's pretty good. Pretty close. Pretty good. Get rid of the middle part. Tighten the diameter up just a little bit. It's like it's hard to tell of like how 3D this is or if that's a shadow. I think it's a shadow. And actually I think the C is a little bit too, I don't think it's sharp enough. So maybe we can fix that. But we'll go in and we'll fix that later. We'll go up here. This isn't like the best way to clip this stuff out just because like I have no idea how fuzzy any of this stuff is. It might be like crazy blurry and not good at all. But we'll cross that road when we come to it. So like yeah, like I didn't get any of in here. Go back in here like this. Cross up, go back down, cross up like this. Look at that straight line. All right, we'll just drag this across, drag this across. There, so we got that. We got the C. Yeah, see the issue when you use when you use a softer brush, there's a lot more issues you can hit with it. We got that. We'll just cut this out with the polygonal lasso tool. That'll be nice and easy. Click, 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 click. And you can see, so like, right now what we have is a pretty simple design, but, you know, based on us chit-chatting about it and utilizing it, it can take a bit to do stuff how you actually want it to look. So I want a very hard brush. I'm gonna boost up, increase the size. That's pretty good. Need to. Dang, I knew that was gonna happen. And we'll just click around. So there, now we have it selected. We'll just grab the end of the A here. Keep hitting the wrong buttons. Drop this back down to 375. Mask this all out. This is with a harder brush because I didn't like how it was before. We can use a little bit of the polygonal lasso tool to go like this. the areas out I do not want. Like that. Delete those out. And I'll just use a brush to clean up the rest. And we'll see how this looks. Might have to tighten this selection up a little bit. You know, there's room for error on this. But a lot of these curves you're going to be able to notice. Alright. Should be finally almost through. I'm just holding down Shift to get some of those straight edges. Some of those all-time lows, some of those dashboard confessionals. All right. I think that's pretty much the whole sign. So that's cool. Once I get rid of that. Okay, so I want this here and also the other one. And we can Photoshop that to fix it. But I think having these up is going to make this look cool. Because when it's up, then it's up. When it's up, then it's up. Then it's up. And that's what happens when it's up. All right. Okay. So I can get rid of this, save, go back here, and now everything should disappear except for the sign we want, like that. So like that's cool. You know, that looks kind of cool. So maybe we blow it up a little bit bigger like that. Put it in the dead center. I think that looks pretty decent. What I want to do though, let's make a new smart object via copy and take the original one. Let's disable the layer mask on, I can get rid of that if I disable the layer mask. Save, go back. And then just set this to multiply. I'm really just trying to see if I can get, maybe I just want to do this. Really, I just want to be like, hey, there's a shadow there, guys. Like, there's a shadow above this. Don't go there. Let me delete this layer mask, apply a new one. There, you know, kind of like that, except like better looking. Oh, but I can't move it down because, okay, there we go. Now I can go like this. Real faint shadow. That's better. Chicago, now playing Justin Fields. So I can group these two together. Name this sign. Toss this up. Maybe I make it a little bit smaller. Just so he's actually underneath it. Like this. You know, adjust where he is. Lower him down a little bit. Trying to figure out how far out this is. Make sure these angles are kind of the same, which they're not really the same. But that's fine. Maybe we'll put something here to fix some of that issue. But then in the sign, we need to move this over to the side. Blow this out like that. Save. Okay, good. All right. So now Justin Fields. Let's make Justin Fields smaller. What do we want behind him then? I kind of feel like I want to make a sign completely like that. Like, is that what we want? Do we want it to look like this? Or like that? Can't decide. What's up, Abatino? So what we're going to do with this Fields is we're going to do some lighting effects on him. So we're going to make it so these lights are coming from the top here. We're going to make that real adamant. Just making sure this looks how I want it. Which all in all it does. You know, I might go in. Let me see if I can make this look a little bit more realistic. So if I take a box, I'm just going to make this a box, no stroke. Set it to multiply, set it to like 40%, and then blur it upwards. Like this. but then convert it for smart filters and then blur it. Blur, Gaussian blur. Something like that. I think if I do that, I can make it look like these have some shadows on them. Which if I get rid of all these things, yeah, I mean, that looks a little bit better. Drag these down a little bit. Maybe I make them, let's group these together. Blur them up a little bit like that. I don't know if they're blurred enough. They might be. I think that looks fine. Save. Cool. All right, on to fields. We got fields real dark, which is what we want. We want them to be real dark. And then we can go to our curves. We'll brighten him back up. We'll do that. We'll select, modify, contract 2 pixels just because. We'll delete the layer mask, mask it to that, and invert it. So it's going to be on him. But we want to add a little bit of color to this. So we're going to go to our curves layer. We're going to go to, so yellow, the opposite of yellow is blue. So if we take blue and just decrease the blue, it'll increase the yellows. And we'll invert that, set it to like 4.5 pixels. So he's got a little bit of a glow up top, but we don't want the glow to be on the bottom. And we also want to use a blend if, so it doesn't touch anything that's like darker than 100 on this grayscale. So it's just gonna make the top of him glow a little bit. I'm gonna duplicate that layer actually, delete the layer mask, so it looks like this. We're going to invert the layer. I'm going to drop this down just a little bit. And then I'm going to hit the top like this. So this is going to make it seem like the light is coming from above him. Now, I lowered the... When you raise the intensity or lower the intensity when using this method, when you go lower, the color effect you have becomes way more apparent. So if I set this down to 0, I'm basically just changing the color to be yellow and not increasing the brightness at all. So I'm going to decrease the brightness, and then I'm also going to go to the blue, and I'm going to decrease the blue just a little bit. I still want it to be yellow. And this is way too heavy of a brush. I'm going to use like 20%, and then I can click and just gradually fill this in. And what we're probably going to end up doing is going to the exposure and changing that and coloring out parts of that would hit his hand. So like I'm trying to think of what would get hit. All in all though, let me do something first because he's very blue. So when you do an exposure, you can darken a subject, and then if we use a color balance, I can add some yellow to this and maybe add a little bit of red just to warm it up. So then let me get rid of this. This is before, this is after. So you can see it looks much more natural that he's in this environment now. So then when we do add these lighting effects, I'm actually going to tweak these lighting effects here to be only the top end. So it's only hitting the highlights. So I can be a little bit more generous with this. I use a 40% brush. This is pretty much just coloring parts of him yellow is what it's doing. But we'll go in and we'll change the highlights and make it so that they are more apparent. And we'll do that with this exposure layer. I'm just going to color this all yellow around the edges. Now what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to hop back into this. This is the general edited photo. It's the same editing I do on pretty much everything. I'm just going to contract it 1 pixel. Delete the layer mask, delete the layer mask, and mask it again. It's going to get rid of any sort of fringe on the edge, which is going to make it look way better. So that's what we did there. So we did that, so that's good. Let me see. Here's an issue though. So like I used quick select in the usual way I do this, but like I can tell that like there's this random part here that's not cut out. For some reason. There's a couple weird spots that it's like, no, you didn't actually cut that out. And it's very apparent because this big orange line. This background's orange. All right, so I'm going to duplicate this layer again. Actually, no. I'm going to make a new curves layer. Curves. We're going to darken this. And we're going to add in the yellow again because we want to darken, but we still want to add the same color. So actually, I need to get rid of yellow, not increase it. I'm going to go in, and I only want this to affect dark layers. I only want this to affect the shadows is what I want. I'm going to invert that. Now, it's all pretty dark already. So what I might do is I might go to this exposure. I might change it to like -1. So I can go back in and I can really... Come on. Come on. Come on, keyboard shortcuts. Size. What did I do? Oh, I know what I did. Is that what I did? Did I hit that? Yeah, okay. All right. Soft brush, not 1600 pixels. White. That's to 66%. And this is just going to allow me to darken up. And I want it to have a lot of contrast. So I really want to get some of these areas to be dark. And that's anything that's not touching the light. So anything down here, you know, underneath his leg, underneath his shin here, this whole side of his leg would be underneath shadowing, underneath the ball. The ball would have shadowing on here. So we'll do this. Tuck it in here like this. Hello, brother. It is Justin Fields season. My brother actually went to Ohio State, so he definitely has an appreciation for this. Darken up his face a little bit. I mean, I don't know if I really want to do that, but it's being overshadowed. Now, the best thing to do would be find an actual photo where he's, you know, lighting is coming from straight up. That's not what we're doing here. So I'm going to darken this just a little bit more. All right, so we've done a little bit. We're going to tweak more of it. But as you can see, we started with this, and now it looks like this. So it definitely looks like there's light coming from above. I'm going to take this edge. I'm just going to brighten it up a little bit. I'm actually going to go in, and I'm going to hit some other spots. Actually, here's what we're going to do. We're going to drop this down a little bit more so we can actually see it on more of these edges. Then we'll take that exposure I talked about. We'll toss that onto that, except we'll invert it. So it's really, really darkening things up. But I want to make sure that certain areas are still dark. So this is exposure. This is decreasing. So if I want something to be dark, I want it to be white. Nightbot, you are super slow today. Like, get with the program. Like, what is going on? Yeah. That graphic All Elite Wrestling poster that I pulled up, I did make that. Which is where some of this inspiration is coming from. That graphic that I made. But also, you guys told me you wanted it to look like this. It also looks nice, so. I'm going to brighten up the eyes a little bit. I'm going to go in here. I'm just going to take a separate curves layer. And I'm going to brighten up just certain spots in here, just to add a little bit of contrast. You know, if I really wanted to, I would go in and hit all the top end highlights of this mask. You know, spend an hour just hitting certain spots that I want to be highlighted. And this isn't going to look 100% perfect because the lighting's like completely different. Like, this is too harsh here for me to tweak and edit. If this was just if there weren't such harsh shadows, it'd be easier for me to edit this image. It'd be more vanilla, which is sort of preferred. But I think this is fine. We want to boost the top here like this. Boost. Boost mobile. You know, what is this? Did we darken this area? Brighten. That's darken. I don't want to darken this. This needs to be bright. Bright, 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 bright. I mean, there, you know, it's not terrible. Not the worst thing I've ever seen. Could be better. Drag some of these things out. Let me tweak this exposure just a little bit. What if I go like that? Okay, Justin Fields, good. Fields in front. Put the sign up here above him just because it's above him up there. I think I actually know what I want to do. I don't know how feasible it is based on this though. So the sign. So to get the sign to look as real as possible, I think what I need to do is I need to take the polygonal lasso tool and go like this. And then just fill this in with gray. Make it, you know, 50%. Mask it. Just kind of mask it like this. But then also convert it to a smart object. And give it a bit of a Gaussian blur. Because all these lights are lighting up this area, but it's not lighting up out here. It's just lighting up in there. So I think that looks nice. I'm going to take this, set it to screen. We're going to Gaussian blur the hell out of it. Let's do like 15. Yeah, that looks good. Blend if. We don't want it to blend in if this layer is dark. Maybe. Something like that. Then we can mask out certain spots. You know, like this in here. So we can see this, so there's contrast, but it's still glowing. We can see stuff that's going on. We can see stuff going down here as well. I think what I'm going to add then as well, we'll add a layer here. I'm going to take this, sort of this brush color, this color here, and we'll just go like this. And set that to overlay. Except we don't want it to be this, so we want to get rid of that. Yeah, we want it to look like that. That looks way better, except I actually want this to be on top of this. Yeah. Okay, delete this layer mask. I'll set this to 50%. And then I want this feathered like 5. So we want this to be here. We want it to follow where the light is being hit. We're gonna mask it like that. There, I think that looks pretty cool. So then the lighting on him looks a little harsh in some areas now because we actually have this light on top of him now too, as you can see. So actually let me have this not affect some of the underlying layer. Kind of like that. Still there, still lightning, so that's good. But we can get rid of some of the harsh effects of this. What happens if I disable this layer mask? Yeah, I think that looks fine. This is really just blowing up certain spots of this. So this is just increasing that area a little bit. I'll go like, I want to go like that maybe. Save. Okay. There we go. So we've got this sort of spotlight on him now playing Justin Fields, QB1. You know, some of this stuff back here is bugging me. So what else do we want to put on this? We need some texture on it. Let's pull bridge up. And I think technically his shadow would be completely different. Let's take a look at that. Like, what would his shadow look like? Like, I think it would duplicate him. I think his shadow would just mainly be darker. So I set one of these. Like, what if I duplicate this? And then convert this to a smart object and then blur it. Like 8 pixels. And set it to multiply. Color burn? What if I set it to color burn? What if I set the other ones to color burn? Nothing because it's black? Yeah, that sounds about right. Alright, whatever. Shadows, good. Good, great, grand. Everybody hates Nightbot. Should just get rid of Nightbot because he doesn't know what he's doing. Alright, so we're looking for textures now. So let me go to my stock images. Pull those bad boys over that you've seen before. We want some textures. So usually I would just put like a texture of grunge. You know, concrete wall. Call it a day. I feel like we need to do something else. A lot of these are too zoomed in too. I don't like. Like this is like zoomed in on a concrete wall. Like I want a good photo of a concrete wall. Let's go to Unsplash. Because Unsplash rocks. Concrete wall. Concrete. Concrete wall. Hey look, concrete wall. Perfect. Download. Just what I wanted. It's just what I always wanted. It's perfectly right. It's just what I always wanted, a Christmas delight. See, this just adds to the realism having this on there. Set it to 50%. Sidewalk. Can I get a sidewalk at the same angle? Like that would be clutch if I could figure that out. You know, like this. Sometimes it's like hard to figure out what to search to find what you want. You know, I really want a photo of a blank exterior wall. And I want the exterior to happen to also have a sidewalk at the bottom like this or like this. But it needs to be the same angle and I need enough of the sidewalk for it to actually matter. You know, I could probably search street. I could also just use any sort of texture and it won't matter. You know, like I want this, but I want this guy to take 2 steps back. And maybe we lower this just a little bit. You know, like that. Then I can pop this up a little bit more. What should we put behind him? Like, what do we want to put behind him? Just like a big QB1 or something like that? That's the next question. Because it already says on there QB1, but it's like, how much do we want to reiterate QB1? Do we want giant QB? Do we want a big JF? Big Bears logo, maybe? And then the Bears logo can have some of the lighting effects of it as well. You know, maybe that'll be cool. Trying to figure out if we just like fake the funk of how that looks. You're like, this is nice. Can I get this look to right? Can I get this to look correct? Ah, come on. You know, something like this. Except for all the foliage. You know, this set to multiply at like, you know, that looks pretty dumb though, doesn't it? All right, let's just duplicate this and just go like this. There. And we'll take this and we'll group it like that. We'll take this curves layer a bit and just darken up some of the edges. And then, what is this? Darken these both doing the same thing? This is lightning. I want this to be white. Light, 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 light. All right, what is this doing now? This isn't doing much. Let's set this to 33%. Okay, sure. All right. There. Cool stuff going on. Justin Fields, QB1. I'm going to take another layer of this yellowish color. Real soft brush. Click, click, click. Let's just do one of these. Let's try that again on 10%. And then anything that's underlying layer. Oh, set to normal. Let's do overlay again. Or screen, or lighten, or screen, or overlay, or screen. Let's do screen. The issue, though, is if I have it set to this, nothing is ever going to cover that up in the back. So I do want it to look like there's some stuff there, so that's good. So what do we want to do now? We got some Chicago. We actually want, again, the sign stuff to not touch any of this stuff up here. So we'll do that. So that's good. Now there's too much on Justin, I feel. So I'm going to group these together. Because it technically would be on top of Justin, not like actually on him. So I'm going to delete some of that out. But then I'll add a little bit back in. I'll add a little bit of bleeding back in. Like this. Because it is going to bleed a little bit on some of him. So that's completely fine. And then you know what? Let's do something kind of weird, but not really. Let's give this a color overlay of this yellow color. No, I want like this color. Okay. And then we'll Gaussian blur this 1 pixel. 2 pixels. 2 pixels. And then we'll group that together, and then we'll set that to overlay. I don't want the brush tool anymore. Set that to overlay, and then we'll just take this and mask out everything below here. So now he's like glowing up here, where the light is hitting him most, which is kind of fun. Okay, one thing I do need to change or fix is this is lighten there. I really want to go in and I want to lighten up this area on his leg and down here, because there's not a lot of contrast here. Like this should be all lit up a bunch, and it's not affecting areas I want because I've got this too honed in. Now it just looks like someone pissed all over him, so we'll fix that. Man, don't hit the wrong buttons, because then you're just going to end up doing this. Okay. What did we even hit? Okay. Jeepers. Okay, we'll lighten up this. Okay. Darken. Lighten. Being a little bit more heavy right now, but that's fine, because I actually want a lot of these. I want more contrast, so I want these areas to actually be a lot lighter. Okay, save. Good, great. Bears.
Stop bears. Stop bears.
There we go. I even wore my my Devin Hester jersey because he is a nominee for the Hall of Fame. Officially. So when he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, I get to make a very short drive to Canton, Ohio. Because I already live in Ohio. I can make that short drive to Canton. And do a bunch of cool stuff. Alright, so I want to like double down on darkening. Because I think it looks better. Like, look, this is normal. This is better. I think this is a little bit better. This is lab coat. This is lab coat for Photoshop. Alright, so I want to get rid of this. So what do I really want to darken? You know, I really want to darken in here. I really want to darken under here. What do we set to 100%? Let's go down to 75. Really going to darken this. Just because I really want to sell how dark these areas are that aren't getting hit by the light. It's really going to show an effect right here. Really going to show up down here. It's really going to show up underneath this lower leg. Or this front leg, I should say. And then we'll set it down a little bit, but we're going to get the crotch of the region like that. Really a lot on his hand here. There, I think that looks a little bit more realistic. Okay, so we got the sign. We got fields. We'll move them over a little bit. Just a little bit more center, but I can't do that because I have something that isn't fields front. What is this? Oh, this is a mask up here. So I need to select this mask and fields in the front. Then I can move it all over. Or I can just delete this layer mask and fix it later, like this. I think that's what we'll do. Fields, quarterback 1. Invert selection, mask. Save. All right. What do we put behind him now? What do you guys think? Suggestions from the audience. What should we put behind him? I have a couple ideas. But I don't think we have time to flesh them out. So while you guys do that, I'm going to add a lens dirt to this. Because it ain't no BJD unless I got me a lens dirt on there. This needs to be blurred more. Or this needs to be... This needs to be less. And this needs to be less. There. So I'm just going to make some like more final touch-ups. Convert to smart object. Filter, camera raw. Just like sort of end game things of what I want to do. I want to add a little bit of vignette. Let's add a little bit of grain. Calibration. Let's change the red hue to be more... See, I don't want to do that. What happens if I change the green? And tint it. Tint it one way or the other. This way, that way. This way, that way. There's like no purple. Oh, this is the shadows. Yeah, see, I thought about doing other posters. Because I could easily put in posters that I've done of people. They are playing the Browns, so you could do something with that, you know. Optics, color grading. Let's just do like the highlights need to be like super yellow. Highlights need to be super orange. Let's make the shadows a little. Hold on, where are we in? These are the shadows, right? Ugh, look at all these shadows. Okay, we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna put these little guys back to pretty much normal. Okay, let's do some basic stuff. So let's increase the contrast a little bit of clarity, a little bit of texture. Let's up the vibrance some. Take the clarity down, take this down. And then increase the clarity. I'm trying to not like destroy what I made. I think that looks fine. That'll work. So I could put like posters back here of things. I can also just put like graffiti on the wall. You know, it's just like a blank wall. And we can do whatever we want with it. You rotate this around. Very confused as to why this is not showing. Oh, because I have this layer. Duh. 6. There. All right. A little bit more of a little thing going on there. Need some more Get some lens overlays. This one's good. This is always a good lens overlay. If I need the adjustments, I'm really just feels like I'm covering up the whole thing now, you know, with these like lighting effects that are just kind of like same old I use all the time in the same ways. So let's change this up a little bit. You know, let's do that. We move it over here. Let's hop into Ethan's light effects with his light leaks. But I don't want his light leaks. I want his lens objects. So here's lens objects. They look like this. It's like these things I love. These are really cool. You know, you can't even see it because of this levels layer, so we'll get rid of that. But I think this is actually really nice to have on the edges here, like that. Because it is sort of white there, so you might get some sort of bleeding from the sides. So we're going to add that to the sides like this. So it's kind of blurred. Move it over just a teeny bit. We delete this light bokeh. Save. So we have this sign. I blurred out this front part. Let's add a little bit more of that back in. Okay, that's better. Okay. Now we're in the zone of what else do we add? So we do need something behind it. You know, I can put some like graffiti back there. I've done like a bunch of random graffiti looking stuff though before. So it's kind of like, well, when do we stop putting graffiti stuff on things? The answer's never, but you know, it's just me. So I'm trying to think of actually, how would this light, you know, would this light here hit the lens specifically some way? It's a question I'm asking myself now. Like, do I want to add some sort of, you know, like a lens flare there, but not one that's like obnoxious? Yeah, I know the posters are probably the move, Garrett, but we have like 18 minutes. You know, I can add some of these. Just real small lens flares. Real small. Real small. Just like adding these randomly. We'll see what these, see how these look. Real small. I don't hate them. We'll just keep throwing them around so they look more abundant. More abundant. I could put them like everywhere, you know? Sure. I don't even know. Okay, we got Fields. We got him here. Oh, I can put Fields season back here. No, I'm just gonna add a poster of the Bears skit. Yeah, I mean that'd be cool though. Add a bunch of frames with like bear stuff on it. No, let's do this instead. Fields season. Because it's Field seasons. I always use Mars attacks. What's a good, is there a good spray paint font? I downloaded a spray paint font recently. I think Envato has one on here. Let's go to Envato, our favorite place to go. Spray paint font. Fonts. Yup. Street Punks. This looks cool. I'll download Street Punks. Hop over here. Oops, I hid you guys. Let me just do one of these. All right, you guys are back. I apologize if my stream randomly breaks like it did last week. We were done though, so that's good. We're not done yet here, so I want paint, and I just want one of these. Hey, look, it's Henry and Garrett. Best friends forever. What is this called? Street. Street. Street Punks Paint. Street Punks Paint. Say that 10 times fast. I don't know why this isn't showing up. Let's try this again. Text object. Fields. There you go. Street Punks Alt Paint. Already don't like this. Already don't like this. 54. Alright, let's go back to Mars attacks. Mars. Go back to tried and true. Fields. Is this what I use for this? Really, I can do whatever. Let's use, there's actually Subway has some good graffiti. Yeah, like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to trim this down a little bit. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to draw a big black box here. Not a bigger, blacker box, just a big black box. We're going to convert this to a smart object and hop in here. And this is what we're working with now. Fields. It just looks so weird in all caps. We'll go like this. Fields. We'll go season. Bigger like that. Save it. Go back. Set to so. Oh, don't know what we were doing there. Alright, so we'll put season over here and we'll make it smaller. I guess I could have done this on the other area. We'll actually do that. Convert this back to layers. Fields. Season. Yeah, maybe we put over here. Number 1. I want these in black though, actually. So they're gonna go away. Bye. Set this to multiply, take this rectangle, make this white now. We'll do number 1 differently. Maybe we do, I don't know, we'll get rid of that for now. Do we want this to say, yeah, we want it to say that. Okay, field season, great. We'll take this actual rectangle and make it actually the size we want it to. Actually, I can just do this all right here. Threshold on this. Gonna convert these to a smart object. We're gonna blur them slightly. She's just gonna round everything off a little bit. Like that. And then let's give this a little bit of an outer glow. We want the outer glow to be black. And we want it to be set to multiply. That doesn't really do anything. So we're going to duplicate this and set this to dissolve. And then set it to like nothing. Like that. Then now we're going to group these all together. Convert them to a smart object. And set this to multiply. And then go in here. Now we can really mess things up. Okay, let's toss this up above here, set it to normal. at 100%. I want to blur the crap out of it though. Like that. What happens if I set that to dissolve now? Dissolve. Dissolve. Yeah, it looks terrible. Okay, that's good. That's what I want. Okay, this is where we add in. Hey, look at that. I don't even know who Jay Cutler is. Thank you for triggering that. That's the best, because it doesn't do it all the time. But when it does, it's special. So I like to hit the bottoms here. Delete. 100%. Click, click. Click, click. Just hit like the bottom areas of some of these. With some of these big spot spray brushes. The thing I hate about these brushes is they're huge. So anytime I want to do something with one of them, I have to trim it down like a ton. Some of these are real nice though, because they're more loose. Like these. These are more just like splatters. So I can go in and just go like that. You'll find somewhere where I want pool to populate theoretically. You know, maybe a bunch of pool, maybe a bunch of paint populated off of that. Right there. Grab another one. Paint. 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 Just adding some paint. All right, what else we got? A couple of these. I'm just rotating the brush. I'm trying to get the ends here to make it look like a little bit of an overspray sort of deal going on. But then just also adding in random hints. Sort of like this. It's 100%. We're watching paint dry right now. Yeah, it's no fun. All right, we'll go back. We got this going on. That's good. But I want a couple more. I want some more general, just like these guys. Drip, drip. Drip, drip, drop. Here goes an eargasm. My Outcast. Everybody loves Outcast. Garrett doesn't even know what Outcast is. Never heard of Outcast before. Doesn't know who Andre 3000 is. For shame. Paint, 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 paint. Click, click. Click, click. It looks so much better when you add these little drops in. I think it does at least. Okay, let's add a couple more in real quick. Let's add some like don't forget up here. Yeah, that looks better. I can take this item and I can then pixelate it. And I've done crystallize at like 3. It just makes things a little more jagged. And then we can set this if the underlying layer is lighter. It will show through. Now the issue is the background doesn't have a lot of contrast. So I do this a little bit there. So you have to be real gentle with this because I want it to be able to show through but I don't want it to show through that much. We got field season. Sure. Good, great, grand. Let's grab his signature from something. Let's go to eBay. eBay. Ebby. eBay.com. Look at all these Obi Toppin cards. I don't want Devin Hester autos. I want Justin Fields auto. I'm trying to think of what he has a card in. Sportsman. Yeah, see, the weird thing is he signs all his cards like this, which is done. What's up, Ray? Go Bears. He signs all his cards just JF, which is really lame. Group. Let's drop these behind that. Let's add a couple more things to this. This is what we were at here. Now we're here. You can tell a little bit of the difference of things. So let's add a new layer. Group it together. Convert this to a smart object. Add our camera raw to this. And that's what we're looking at. So I mean, this is cool. You know, this is a cool little graphic. Let's just add a couple little final touches that I think will help. I think honestly, if we throw a lens flare up on the edge like this, it might help sell that a little bit better. And then another lens flare down here at the bottom, but just something like that, I think will sell it a little bit better. I still have I have all this lighting stuff in here that we can use. You know, like this. And maybe we blow this up like that. Blur it. Blur, Gaussian blur. Let's blur it like 4. Just blur it like 8. It's more just like lens dirt, dust stuff. Do we like field season to be black? That's like super black, isn't it? I feel like that looks kind of weird. So let's get rid of this. Let's drop these bad boys below it. I mean, that's what it would look like though. So there's not really anything we can do. Put a spray can behind him. That might be fun. Done that before. All right. Go back here. Convert everything to a smart object. Camera raw. Sort of a final. Let's tweak the camera raw a little bit more though. So let's add a little bit. Add a little bit of saturation. Optics, I'm going to add more of a vignette, which is fine. Let's go to distortion. No. Okay, distortion could be 0. Enter. Let's just duplicate it real quick and just turn a bunch of stuff off and then do a slight radial blur of 2, zooming. And then rotate this 0.25. So everything has a little bit of a fringe to it, which is fun. And then let's just go back to lighting one more time. Let's grab this. Let's toss this in here. Let's get rid of these. Let's toss this in here underneath sign, above fields. Set this to multiply. Let's just go like this. So what I actually want to do with this is I want to make this background. Color burned? No. I'm going to set it to multiply. But I only want it restricted to this. Maybe. This is an asset I use a lot when I want to darken something up or lighten something up. I don't really like how that looks. We'll just go like this. Before, after, before, after. Let's give this a little bit more of a radial blur. Let's give it like a blur of 4. Then we'll make a new layer, and we'll throw that all in there. Then we'll convert that to a smart object, and actually we'll delete that. And let's add some color lookups. Let's just find a color lookup that we like. Nope. Let's do make it pop instead. These are all making it pop way too much. What happens if I get rid of these? Nope. Set this to 50%. I wish I could cycle through these a little bit better. We'll go to the selective color, we'll go to the cyans, and we'll go to the blues to pop those up a little bit better. So I feel like we're missing a lot of blue here. But I think that's fine. It's a fun little graphic. I think we're gonna stop there. I really don't like how, I don't really like that. I don't, hold on. This is the thing where I'm like, I don't like how things look, so we're gonna get rid of them. So like, honestly, I don't like how this looks. So we're just gonna get rid of it. Just gonna make this a real simple graphic. Color lookup. We're going to make a new layer then. Combine these all together, convert to smart object. Camera raw. Duplicate that layer. Radial blur. Gonna take that. Actually, I want to take this radial blur. I actually want it to be down here. Kind of like that. A little higher. Like that. And we're going to rotate this just a little bit, like I did before. Take this out, knock out, knock out. Like this. And then we're just going to mask this layer. What if I mask it with this? It's going to look weird? Yeah, it's going to look super weird. Let's just mask it with a big old soft brush. Just kind of do one of these. Wonder if I have his signature already saved on here. I know I do because it's part of something else. So let me pull. Man, this is so weird. I need to do something with this portable hard drive. Because I'll like search for something and I'll try and open it, but it's like, it says it's a font and it doesn't say what it actually is. So it's not good at all. Let me just find this fields graphic real quick. Because the fields graphic has his autograph in it. So I just need to find the fields graphic. What this could use is some more blue. Also. Maybe we'll add I'll add a little bit of blue to it. See what happens. Please hold. We're opening a. It's only 2.5 gigs. 2.5 gig file. It'll open up eventually. We'll get there at some point in time. I have Justin Fields in my fantasy league. I don't know if I'm going to start him though. Mainly because I have Russell Wilson and he's playing the Browns, and the Browns have a good defense. So I don't want him to get absolutely murdered by Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney. But we'll see. Okay, while we're doing that, this is, oh, there it is, opened. Of course, right when I get away from it, it opens. All right. Where is his signature? Get out of here. Oh gosh, final edits. Oh, text and signature. Great. Signature. Great. You know what I haven't done in a while? I haven't blurred a logo in front of. I haven't blurred someone's signature in something in front of something for a while. So we're gonna do that. It's been a while. Blur gallery. Blur. Gaussian blur. 15. And then we'll take our adjustments and we'll do candlelight. That adds a little bit more. I think should not warm or edgy amber. Edgy amber, but we'll set it to like that. That's good. I'm going to make the bottom part here. Why is this set to oh, that's set to multiply. That makes sense. Okay. Actually want this to be this color. So we're gonna make the ground blue just because I think it might look a little bit better. Please do not change the whole thing because I'm not using my head. Which it did, but it's fine. It's actually not fine. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, hold on. I mainly just need to do that. We'll make it black. We'll make it blue. Yeah. Adds a little bit more contrast, which is good. Maybe we can make fields a little bit bigger. We can take this and toss it beneath all this crap. We can actually get rid of this color lookup a lot. And we'll do this. Call it a day. I already said we called it a day, but we're really calling it a day this time. Radial blur. Filter. Get rid of, enter. Tilt, 0.25. There. This is it now. So much stuff we can add to this, but this is our nice basic graphic ready to go. Thank you guys for joining me once again for another live stream. Excited for Justin Fields to start as a Bears fan myself. We're going to make a new layer here. We're going to convert everything to a smart object, and we're going to filter, blur, gallery. We're just going to give this a quick iris blur. Yeah, I should probably put my logo on there. I should put my logo on there somewhere where someone can't steal it. All right, and once again, let's see if we can find my logo. Logo new. Bam, what is this? Hey, look, it's my logo. Cool. Color overlay. White. Toss that be down in the corner. There. Nice spot, someone can easily Photoshop it out if they felt the need. Alright, that's good. Alright, just a fun little Justin Fields graphic, QB1, just a little bit of a lighting exercise, really. But I like it. I think we like it. Let's just go up to actions. Go to my actions, and I'm just going to click save it out as ping. We're done. So thank you guys for joining me on this. I appreciate it. Let me know what other athletes you wanted to see other than All Elite Wrestling, because Brad already suggests enough of that. If you guys have tutorial suggestions, let me know. Other than that, look forward to seeing you guys next week, hopefully after Justin Fields' first major NFL win. So I will see you guys next time.